Well, where do we start? There's been much speculation around this topic. Is Pogba world class or not?
The question on everyone's mind since the big 89 mil transfer to the French midfielder to Manchester United. Is he world class?
Well, what do you think?
Well, me personally, I think Paul Pogba is world class.
Are you just saying that because you're a United fan?
No, not just because I'm a United fan. Just because I've witnessed Paul Pogba play, even though I'm a United fan, I've witnessed him play. That's the reason I'm saying it. Not
Why
many
do you-
people in the press watch him play. They look at his stats after games and they say, "Oh, he played bad because he didn't score a goal or he didn't get an assist." In reality, they don't know the full story.
Alright, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I personally don't think he's world class. He's a great player. I just feel that people overrate him. Can we agree on that or not?
Overrated? Maybe yes.
Then
But-
if he's overrated, what makes him so world class?
Well, he is not he's the responsible for, he is the world class because one, since the time he's been in the Premier League, he's had 99 appearances in the Premier League. He scored 24 goals, brought Manchester United, this is solely in the Premier League, don't forget, to 56 wins and 16 losses in the 3 seasons he's been here.
How many goals?
As well as
How many goals you say?
24 goals,
How many of those were penalties?
9.
That says a lot.
Well,
That says
He
a lot.
also managed-
No. United paid 100 million fee for him, expecting Pogba to make an impact and help United get back to winning titles. Has he done that? No. He's done anything but that.
wait, you know, he's had 25 assists. He's created 19 big chances. Of those 19 big chances, this was last season, 7 of them were put away. What is that talking about the people around Pogba? He had 474 accurate balls. That doesn't matter. Pinging it across the field to whoever, Rashford, Martial. Did they finish it? No.
Look, anyone who plays around world-class talent, as you've seen in the France squad, is bound to perform well.
Yeah, but it's also where Pogba plays in that France team versus where he plays in the United team. In the United team, he's sat back more with McTominay. Pogba, which some people don't realize, you got to take a second to look at how he played at Juventus to how he played at United. The reason Manchester United wanted Pogba is because they saw in him what they thought they could pull out of him here in a two-man midfield.
They brought him back to win titles, but I've said that before. He's done anything but that.
Yeah, but look at the way Juventus were playing him. They were playing him in a three-man midfield, which allowed him to move up and down the field. Now
he
he's
just
stuck
had
in
his-
a defensive.
But he just
What?
had his best season last year.
Yeah, in a three-man midfield with Matic and Herrera. Comparing them to Pirlo and Vidal, who he had beside him in his Juventus days, it was a three-man midfield, and Pogba was the one up top. Vidal was the man, sort of a Conte, moving up and down the field. And Pirlo, who was a pass master of his day, was sending those balls to Pogba for him to put away. Is anyone in United giving Pogba the ball up the field so he can take it up? He's trying to bring it from the back all the way to the front by himself. He has no support.
Okay, that I can agree on you. I can agree with that fact that he's the only one that's providing creativity for United currently. Correct?
Yes.
But you look at players that kind of play in the same position, such as Yaya Toure, Gerrard, Lampard, and they all made huge impacts for their respective clubs.
Yeah, but
He's far too inconsistent. World-class players control the game to their pace, and they show up in big games, whether it be a final, semi-final, group stage, etc.
Man United are not really making any finals or group stages right now. But Pogba right now in the Premier League, just last season, I said it was his best season. Although it was a penalty-filled season, he still was responsible for creating a lot of what Manchester United went on that glorious run. It was easy games, but it was for him to build confidence under Solskjaer. And we saw a spell of 12 games about Paul Pogba being absolutely like what Manchester United paid for him. If, of course, he is a little inconsistent, and there are doubts about players, world-class players, being inconsistent, but you gotta consider that people around him have to step up. As I said before.
Well, you said you need other players to step up, but look at Pogba. Pogba hasn't stepped up. Look at his work rate. His work rate is very poor, and it's also been reported that he is the most lazy midfield player out of all Premier League midfielders. He has spent more time walking, and that for me is very alarming and concerning.
Yeah, but if you look at someone like Paul Scholes, a Manchester United legend, he was seen as the lazy man on the team. The man who walked. Yeah,
let me stop
Manchester United fans love him.
You're comparing a legend to someone who is not a legend, and
I'm comparing their work ethic. I'm comparing their work ethic.
But you can't compare Scholes to Pogba. Pogba isn't on Scholes' level. They're not even the same sentence.
Well, someone I can compare to Paul Pogba is Christian Eriksen. Now, before you say anything, let me bring up what Christian Eriksen did last season to what Paul Pogba did last season. Last season, Christian Eriksen had 8 goals and 12 assists. That season, he was an attacking midfielder. Last season, Pogba alone had 13 goals and 9 assists. Of course, those goals were penalties, but still, Pogba is a defensive, more push-back midfielder than Eriksen, who has lived and breathed in that attacking midfield role his whole time at Spurs.
Okay, again, Pogba and Eriksen just don't go in the same sentence. Eriksen's a game changer. Pogba isn't. And if you look at the first game, I believe Tottenham played was against Aston Villa. They were down, or was it a draw? I think it was 1-1. Eriksen came on, and they ended up winning 3-1. That just says a lot about Eriksen. He's a game changer. Pogba isn't. Pogba doesn't. He doesn't have that ability and quality to change a game like Eriksen, De Bruyne, David Silva, etc.
But Poch is leaving. First of all, Poch is leaving Eriksen on the bench for what reason we don't know, and he's coming on against a tired Aston Villa who are new to the Premier League. Of course, he's gonna change the game. If he does that against a City or Liverpool, then we're talking really like big game changer. Pogba has not really been in that situation where he's come on against a weak team and has the chance to like really put his power on his foot on the game. So comparing those two,
we played a weak team. We played Crystal Palace.
He was a starter there.
But no one did anything in that game, including Pogba.
Well, yes, that is very true. But United as a whole have not been that good this season. But
okay. What would you suggest United do with Pogba? Because I know there's been a lot of talk that they should sell Pogba for 150 million to Real.
Yeah. Well,
what do you think we should do with Pogba? What do you think United should do?
Why is Pogba so wanted in the world? There's got to be a reason, right?
Of course.
It's because he's a world-class player. The reason people want to pay the big bucks for Pogba is because they know he can change the game. He's done it before, maybe not consistently.
That is where I feel like he is overrated in that department. That's where the
wouldn't teams know he's overrated?
He's overrated, and therefore he's wanted by Europe's top clubs.
But he's playing like.
I understand your argument, no question.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. But what do you suggest United do with Pogba?
Okay. First, let's talk about what would happen if they got rid of Pogba, of course. If they got rid of Pogba, of course they need to bring someone in. Now, United in the current state they are, this turned into United debate, but they're weak. And who's going to really want to join that team? Pogba is really their like salesman, right? So I think Solskjaer first of all is going to do everything in his power to keep Pogba to attract bigger players to the club.
But let's say we've seen Pogba's attitude, and it doesn't look like it's an obvious sign that he does not want to be at United.
Is it obvious? Only he knows what he wants to do.
I don't think he wants to be at United by his work rate, his attitude. I just don't see it.
Well, when you have, like we saw on the last day at Cardiff, when you have fans abusing you on the last day and all you can do is just nod at them and say, okay, okay, okay. Like, okay, any player would want to leave the club at that point. But as you were saying, what were we going to do with Pogba? Or where would he go? What were you saying?
What would you expect United to do with Pogba?
I'd expect at least 150 mil, as you said, for Pogba, or I'd expect like a sum of cash and a world-class midfielder to come in and Pogba to go out. That's the only way I see Paul Pogba leaving this team. I don't see him leaving on a free, as United wouldn't let that happen, as they already have that David De Gea problem as well, who could also leave on the free, but that's a different discussion.
Okay, if Real want him for 150 million, let him go. It's, as I said before, it's obvious he wants to leave. United can use that money to buy more ambitious and hardworking midfielders who will bring better results than Paul Pogba.
Will they really? Because Pogba is, I'd say he's world class. If you're bringing in just any other midfielder, is he going to really bring the same thing as Paul Pogba? Maybe bigger worth ethic, but is he going to bring the same output as Paul Pogba?
I think with 150 million, we can do a lot. We can bring in 2 good quality midfielders. One of those who could probably be Bruno Fernandes. And another midfielder could be maybe, I know, Eriksen's wanting to leave in January.
He's wanting to get out.
We could sign Eriksen with that money as well. We could sign better, ambitious players, more hardworking players than Pogba. Pogba isn't even in the, for me at least, Pogba isn't even in the top 5 midfielders in all of Europe's leagues right now.
He is my top 5. I'll give you. That's your personal opinion.
That's a different conversation for another day.
Yeah, but I'll give you another point. Paul Pogba, out of any player on United, any player, David De Gea is a goalkeeper, but he's probably the best player United right now. At any outfield player United, he was entrusted by Solskjaer to help develop the youth academy. Not many players given that responsibility, especially at a club like United. What was the reason for that, you think?
For what?
He was given the responsibility of training and helping the youth, like the youth academy. He's gone to their training sessions. He's helped them out. He's the one responsible for helping out like the likes of Mason Greenwood, Chong, other player James Garner in the United Academy.
Okay, he is one of our best players. I'm gonna agree about. I'd say our second best player behind David De Gea.
Yeah, I can agree on that.
But United's 10, excluding De Gea, we do not have a single world-class player. And we look to Pogba, since we paid the most money to him, we look at Pogba to try and develop the younger players and bring them up to the starting 11.
But why would Solskjaer bring him to train them? The question wasn't answered. Because he is world-class, in my opinion, that's why Solskjaer told, okay, Pogba, you're the best player in this outfield team, besides David De Gea, who can't train this youth academy. I'm going to assign you this huge task of helping out all these young teenagers to help them become what you are, or what Rashford is, or what Martial is. Why was he given that? Why wasn't Rashford, Martial given that?
Like I said before, he was given that because he is probably our best outfield player. But how does that make him world class? I don't understand.
Because only world-class players are given that responsibility. You don't just give that to some nobody on the field. You give that to someone you entrust. If Pogba really wasn't world class, I'm pretty sure Solskjaer would have said, okay, you're not training these people. You're not motivated to be here. I don't want you anywhere near these people.
Who else can Solskjaer go to?
Someone like Harry Maguire, a born leader.
You can go to no one.
You can go to Maguire, a born leader.
If we had another top player in that squad, I bet you any money Solskjaer would be going to him instead of Pogba.
Like who?
Anyone. Who do you want me to name? There's plenty of players I can name, but it's all irrelevant as none of them would come to our club. None of them would come to United.
I don't follow City as closely, but I don't hear many of the things of this was a big article. I don't hear of course De Bruyne. This is no debate, but De Bruyne. I don't hear De Bruyne going over training the youth. I don't hear Christian Eriksen going over and training the youth. like this is a big deal because of like the stature of the player Paul Pogba is, because he's so like well respected in the
Do
football
City
world.
really need to train the youth? Do they really need to?
Well, we've seen it with United. Everything good comes to an end.
Their squad is really young, but okay, that's a different discussion for another name. But okay, so we can go on and on about why Pogba should be world class, why he shouldn't be. But I don't want this video to exceed 20 minutes or be too long. So we're gonna end it here. So please like, subscribe, share, and comment down below what you think. Is Pogba world class or not?
Yes, he is.
We'll see y'all next time.